play a mono red deck that was put up on the lift and tinkered with by Patrick Sullivan in between the Swiss and...
Right. Sadin worked on a Goblins deck. He got a list from me earlier today, played some rounds, and he said the Goblin package was just horrible, which is not surprising. He went 5-3 or some mediocre record. So we sat down and we rebrewed, and so this is what he's playing now, which is that list, and there's some experimental action going on here.
So tell me what's different about his list now than what he was playing earlier.
Well, there's no Goblin Grenade, no Goblin Chieftain type of...
No Goblin Fireslinger?
No, nothing like that.
Okay, but we do have Furnace Scamp.
Yeah, we have Furnace Scamp. This is much closer to like just a standard red deck win style.
You love that Scamp more than anybody else.
I do love the Scamp. So
Bill Stark might like the Scamp a little bit more.
The list is all 4-ofs, like all good red decks are.
Right.
It's 4 Scamp, 4...
Stromkirk Noble.
Right. 4 Spikeshot Elder, 4 Berserker, and 4 Koth. Those are the creatures roughly in the deck.
Yeah, but you like playing... You're a big advocate of the 12 1-drops in red decks.
Right, at least. And we have... and then the removal spells are Geist Flame, Bolt Charge, Incinerate, and Shrine, and then 24 Mountains.
You feel like you need to pump your fist, like say Geist Flame when you say it.
So part of the reason with that thing is it plays really well with Shrine of Burning Rage and Chandra's Phoenix if you want to go down that road. And initially the list had Shock, and right now it doesn't look like there's a ton of 2 toughness creatures in the metagame and a fair number of 1 toughness ones. So if you're working from that premise, then you'd rather have a Lava Dart than a Shock. Mm-hmm. And so, again, we're trying that, although either one of those 2 cards would suck against Landale, who's just pretty straightforward blue-white deck.
Yeah, he said he made some changes to his deck along the way, changing just to be slightly less biased against decks like Steve's. He was much more concerned about playing against red decks during the Swiss rounds.
What are your feelings if you're Steve here going up against the standard blue-white with main deck time of the reinforcement?
This matchup seems pretty rough, and he's got Worm Coil as a finisher too.
Worm Coil has just been put. We watched Landale put a game out of reach. Here's Tim's old deck. Let's see. Want to see if we can figure out what kind of changes he made here while these guys get underway.
And does Steve
Steve's
have
Stormkirk Nurgle did 4, by the way. On
it looks like
1.
Steve kept a 1-lander here. I assume he has to have Shrine if he kept a 1-lander. It's kind of hard to justify otherwise.
So, yeah, his turn 1 Stormkirk Noble got dismembered. So it did 4. It's pretty exciting.
Now, does Steve does not have Oxidridge on the board?
Correct.
Okay.
So timely reinforcements against this list is just a giant beatdown. So cue some foreshadowing, I believe.
Dun dun dun.
What are your feelings on sleeve color, Brian? Should you play red with a red deck, or should you play something deceptive with a red deck?
I like non-red with a red deck, to be honest.
You
don't care.
Just be who you are.
I mean, you clearly don't even want to sleeve.
I would prefer not to sleeve, but yeah, I usually just rock the Chandra sleeves or whatever. It doesn't matter. Just be who you are.
I've gone sleeveless in sanctioned events before.
It is.
It gives you kind of the.
All right, that wasn't timely reinforcements.
That's an unexpected Oblivion Ring.
Here we go. All right, and a land and a shrine.
So now he's got a.
If people don't know you, it gives you a little scrub quality. Sit down, your card's facing all different directions. You got no sleeves. You ask to borrow a piece of paper.
So it looks like Steve's hand's got. It appears to have 3 incinerates in it. It's a little clunky.
Think twice.
You just start firing him off here, right?
Yeah, he's just got to be efficient with his mana because he's so jammed up. Sure, that does nothing.
Not actually a card right now.
Right. Does not qualify as a card. Yeah, Tim. You, not your Gideon. It's very nice of you to offer.
No, I just want to slap Gideon and anger him a little bit.
Pretty sweet. Is he going to be getting in there with Gideon?
Yeah, it's not doing anything else.
So Steve's just incinerating rather than discard a card there.
Well, plus he's tapped out and doesn't worry about a counterspell.
Right, yeah, he doesn't have to worry about it. That's a bummer.
And the game is over.
that's not a positive thing for the red mage.
I don't know why. I guess it doesn't really matter too much which way Brody goes with that. So basically, the way Steve has to play this is chump blocking and shooting his own guys and getting the shrine up to lethal, which is actually possible if he's got a 1-drop and 2 Geist Flames. So he's actually not dead as long as he can get a 1-drop and block and shoot and get the shrine up to lethal the following turn.
And
all right, that's part one. That's part one.
Scamped.
If he has 2 Geist Flames, I think that just does it.
How many counters are on the...
It's up to 6, so let's go 7, 8, 9 from upkeep and 2 spells.
Is it 6 already?
Yeah.
It's jammed up there fast.
Yeah, it adds up fast. Gets to work.
Would you say that's the hard working shrine? Is it red
Oh
one?
yeah, it does. It feels. It kind of cheats.
All good red cards feel like cheats, though.
Oh, come on, man!
Foreshadowing comes to pass.
Oh, wah, 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 wah.
Oh, timely.
All right, so let's see what we're boarding here. Tim can sign up 2 more timelies.
Hey, I was just walking by and I was wondering, where I could get some awesome Innistrad singles, and then I remembered channelfireball.com.
Safe and secure.
Safe
on second with channelfireball.com.
I just wanted to, thank Channel Fireball because of places like that. I can bring you guys good games live.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thanks, Channel Fireball.
Thank you, Channel Fireball.
Yeah, big shout out to LSB and all of LSB's friends from channelfireball.com. So we got 2 timely reinforcements.
I heard the Channel Fireball maybe rename himself FurnaceScamp.com. Is that true?
FurnaceScampOpponent.com.
Something like that, yeah.
Another great combo.
Yeah.
And 3 Metal Missteps. Those are for sure in. And then he has a bunch of stuff, kind of marginal cards that might be better than other stuff that he has.
Does he bother bringing in an extraction to get rid of the
Guys
Flames out
He's
of
not going to bring
No,
you guys
no.
to St. Trough.
He's already
It's just
far
like
too
a hexproof
advantaged.
creature you can't get.
And I guess what Tim would want to shave out are the 2 Dissipates seem really bad.
Those Gideon Juras are mostly useless, right?
No, I think they're fine. They're not. I mean, they're not great, but they're.
You don't want to jam up too much. It's like Consecrated Sphinx.
Like I'd rather get rid of like the 2 Karns, the 2 Dissipates, and a Think Twice would probably be where I would start.
He's not getting rid of card drawing.
I mean, all he needs to do. His mana is going to be taxed doing other things if Steve has any sort of draw. So
Yeah, but the Think Twice let him keep a 2-mana hand, right?
Because
you can just
maybe
I
all
don't
this,
know if he wants to keep
right.
it
All this good stuff is 5 and 6.
A 2-mana and a timely reinforcements, which basically is done.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty narrow range of hands. I mean, maybe he'd rather ditch a Mana League. I could see like.
Wait, so what do we do to this deck to ever beat this deck?
Well,
consistently.
I mean, consistently is not going to happen because Tim's just got too many powerful cards. You can definitely improve your numbers by having. Obviously, Hero would give you some game in the games where Elspeth or Timely Reinforcements is beating you down.
Is Steve playing a doubles play?
He does not have doubles play.
I know if with the cost,
Did we know if Massioli got rid of his doubles play that he was showed us earlier?
I do not know.
Yeah.
So you can definitely select. Yeah, I mean you could cut Geist Flames for Shock as a marginal upgrade because you're never going to really flash back.
Bringing in the curses here, right?
Yeah, the curses will come in for sure, and it's possible Art Trail is better than something else because it's just slightly higher impact, although it's still.
I guess you can also clear most of the way through on a.
Yeah, I mean,
or are you just dead if Timely Reinforcements resolves?
Well, you can make the deck. You can put yourself in a position where you might be able to beat one with a good hand, but it's not worth stressing yourself too much about it because without Hero, it's very challenging to beat one. So your best bet is actually just to act like it's not in his deck and that he's not going to draw it. And
ladies and gentlemen, How to Play Red by Patrick Sullivan.
Yeah, you can't win them all.
Whatever. Sometimes you lose.
Right. You're not going to win 100% of the time, but if you ignore the cards you can't beat, you can win a higher percentage of the time. It's not worth trying to play around everything here because if you just putz around for too long, then Worm Coil or Elspeth can beat you or Gideon can lock you out, whatever. So
Yeah, we saw a game in the Swiss where Massioli got his opponent to like 7 on turn 3, and then Elspeth stuck for a turn, and then a Worm Coil Engine joined the party. And
basically, if
won the game at 30.
If I'm Steve, I'm basically acting like I'm not once playing around that card unless I'm in a position where like that's the only card that can beat me, and I have the luxury of playing around it. That's the only way it's even on my radar. And Stormcirk, the Noble gives you a little bit of game too because the tokens are human. So
Are they human or are they soldiers?
I believe they're human. I could be wrong. I thought they made human soldiers. Oh, they're just soldiers?
They're just soldiers. They have no race.
Oh, wow. That's a beatdown. I thought that guy worked against him, but alas. See, in Spike Shot Elder, over 3 turns and 9 mana, you can kill 3 tokens. another card that gives you the illusion of having game against
the efficiency of red, right there.
Oh,
9 mana.
Good start.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Absolutely.
Can't ask for too much more.
It's a good thing we're pretending that Time of Reinforcements doesn't exist. It looks even better.
Right. It's going to get to 18. Counter on the Shrine. I mean, I guess if he timely reinforcements here, he can. He could just shoot his own Spike Shot, and then it's just a gain 6. But I'm really not a huge fan of playing the Shrine there for a number of reasons. One is allowing Tim to efficiently play the Mana Leak, and 2. You can, if he timely reinforcements, you could shoot the Spike Shot in response, and then it's a gain 6. If you have Koth to follow up from there, or even like Steve has here, another Shrine, it's actually not the end of the world. So it's hard to know exactly what's going on without having seen Steve's entire hand. But unless there was a really specific configuration, I would have just kept the 3 mana up and not run the Shrine out there.
Sure. It's interesting too. I find that you can bring in more timely reinforcements and you're more likely to draw them. But the subsequent ones are just...
Right, it's somewhat on diminishing returns because the first one's probably going to bump you up to the point where the second one doesn't do anything.
Dudes, right?
But we could have tried a little bit harder to not get blown out by reinforcements here, I believe.
This is not what you guys drew up in the locker room, is it?
No, this is not. Yeah, this is a little rough. Going to take 2 and shoot a token down.
Oh my.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean Tim's at 24. He doesn't care at all about that Shrine, but the Spike Shot is
right. And there's only one Shrine left in Steve's deck for him to get some kind of sort of critical double Shrine draws.
So Tim is stalled on lands here. That's something, I guess.
He's probably sitting on 2 counter spells right now.
Well, he's only got Mana Leak and Dissipate if he kept them in. But Dissipate would be, if I was in Tim's position, that would be the first card I would sideboard out, especially on the draw.
Steve read the check the creature type on the tokens. So Gideon. It is.
So just Gideon +2 and hang back with his tokens. Just gum up the works.
Looks that way.
Yeah.
Gideon's a human, right? He can't block.
Yeah, he cannot block. That is the least of Steve's problems, however.
This is not even close.
No, there was a couple turns there where if Steve had caught, he could have made a game out of it, but his draw was mediocre, and the way he played, Landale having the Mana Leak there was really bad.
How do you mulligan in general with a red deck? Like, what are you looking for when you're looking at that opening hand?
A 1-drop, 2 lands, no more than 4. just a curve. That's the starting point of most of your good hands. The places where people get themselves into trouble are keeping hands that are like Shrine, Koth, a removal spell, and four lands or
right.
whatever.
So you draw 2 lands, then you're just sitting there dying.
You're just not going to beat an opponent who's fighting back. Curses! A little late to the party. And a Volt Charge. Alright, so this is taking Tim up down to 18 and the Shrine up to 10 counters. Well, whatever, we're actually doing some points here. I mean, if Tim can cast like any of the cards in his hand, that's going to be game, but
Tim can also just win in 2 or 3 attacks from his guys.
he might not have 2 or 3 turns.
Maybe not. Maybe not. I mean,
It's a lot of,
Steve's got, basically 10 from the Shrine, and he's going to get 3 from the Pinger and 3 from the Shrine. That's 16 right there if he can last 3 turns.
Oh.
That's filthy. That seems like lick and stick
oh,
to me.
Tim. A concession, and
Steve's still got to worry. Steve's still got the team event to
yeah,
keep him afloat here.
right. So is that bouncing from the tournament?
Yeah, it's elimination
Yeah,
at
that's
this
it,
point.
elimination.
All right, well, I'm going to go see if he wants to go to the bar, I guess. All right, later, gentlemen. It's been real.
Pat, do we have your number for dinner later?